Okay, this is a Lynx 6x6. This is a French Tier 8 light tank. The map is Epic Normandy, Frontline game mode. The last game, the latency was rather decent. There were some issues, but it really wasn't that bad. When I start a game, I'm on Cafe, I usually have a plan. My plan is going to be to go out in the back and do some hit and run. I'm going to take the eastern route so that I don't bump into my allies. If you saw the video, I forgot to hit the gas. You saw the video where I did it last time with the high latency. I never made it past that rock. Okay, so I'm going to try and do hit and run. They're spreading out. The enemy is spreading out. They're going to have a lot of slow tanks. There's one 6x6. So I'm not in that much danger. Okay, so that was a bad move. We know now, don't do what I just did. But you already know that because you watch Banana Clan. I got to come up with a name for a YouTube streamer. I haven't come up with one yet. Oh, there's some that I know. There is actually one. There's a guy that I know that I want to make fun of, but I really don't want to because he really hasn't hit me hard or anything. But there's a guy who is a stat patter. And he goes around with his amazing stats, but when you watch him play, I'm like, yeah, you're camping in the back and you're sniping with light tanks, you're sniping with every tank. And I'm not the only one who critiques him. Other people have. So you notice that I made sure while I was driving, I was using the auto aim so I could hit that tank as I was passing through the gap. That's one of the reasons why you use auto aim. I'm looking in one direction and driving in the other, and I'm shooting at that guy. You use the auto aim to do that. And I did that 5 years ago. And when people were posting, never use auto aim, I was like, well, I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't use the auto aim. How are you going to go into sniper mode and hit that tank while driving through and then not bump into something? I mean, come on. There is a guy who did say something that I was deeply insulted by in the forums. I will come up with a nickname for him. Trump. I'll call him Trump. Trump. That's the nickname. Trump. That's the fucking nickname for that a-hole. He said something that was really unjustified, which I mentioned in another video. Swing around, miss the auto aim. So I didn't know that they had added the auto aim indicator, the little crosshair. So I've been playing with it for like 2 days now. Okay, I'm going to peel out of here. I was considering doing a repair. He's considering dying. I'm going to swing around. Oh, so sorry. F that. That's auto aim. I mean, you can't do that with sniper. Maybe there's somebody who could have done that with sniper mode, but they usually stop. I watch Quickie Baby and Sircon. They use the sniper mode more often than I would, but they stop their vehicle. And when you stop the vehicle, they are angling, like showing their side armor. They're at a dead stop, which means that they're not maneuvering to get behind the enemy. And the enemy is going to hit their tank on a weak plate, so that's why I don't do it. If the auto aim doesn't work, I go into sniper mode. That's it. Not hard to figure out. Oops. So something happened before I died, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, I was about to kill a tank over there, and I don't remember if I got it. I was really unhappy that I didn't make it out of there because I could have. F that. So I'm going to do a repair. For some reason, it's not turning. Is there something weird going on? Oh, hello. Okay, general rule, when you see cheap books on the other team, watch your ass. General rule. Hello. Prosciutto. Ah! F, 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 F. So what happened there was I thought I was going to hit the house. So I F that. I thought, okay, I'm going to hit the house, so I'm going to change direction, go the other way. And then I was going to miss the house, and then when I changed direction, I hit the house. That's because of lag and latency. It's just one of the crappy things I got to deal with. And I died because of it. I was going to go to the repair facility right there. I swear to God. Swear to God I was going to go to the repair facility. So this happens all the time, and it hurts. You know, it made me rank 5th. I know that the Unicums play with lag and latency, and they make general every game. Every game. Okay, 6-minute wait for that tank to come back. We're short players over here. I did come up with some other words for Unicums. Unitard was one of them. Chickum was the word, which is unicum and chicken. Those are the ones that sit on the red line. Of course, there's Boy Scouts is another one. The campers. He's going for his. Oh, this one has. I forgot to remove the module to damage the engine. Okay, I really don't feel good playing this for hit and run. I really think it's going to be a little on the difficult side over here. Oh, if he were chasing after me, I remembered to try the triangular turns. So, sorry. I wonder which way he's going to go. F that. That was a close shot. I should have nailed him. Okay. I am vulnerable. So I'm going to... F it. So he came after me. I was turning around to see what was going on behind me. What I was going to do is I was going to drive out of here, but I was going to watch the tanks behind me. So, like, if they were aiming in this gap, what I was going to do is I was going to use this rock to block and try to head. And I was going to say, okay, I can't be over to the right. I got to be a little bit more over to the left to get this rock. Or I could have gone through this way and up and over that way. Or what another thing that I could have done is a handbrake turn. So there's another strategy that I have. And of course, you know, all the big streamers know this. What you do is you go really fast. You get to the position you want, and then you do a handbrake turn into a side scrape position. So basically what's happening is you do it when the enemy knows you're about to come around the corner. But because you do the handbrake turn, you end up in the side scrape position. The enemy fires his gun, and then he's got to reload. Oh, a tree fell down. So then you have an advantage. You're already in a side scrape position. If he hits you, you have an increased chance of ricocheting. He has to reload. You pop out and nail him. So that was my way of doing the high-speed advance on the corner. And basically, the point I was making, I could have done it right here. I could have come over here, done the handbrake turn right on the corner of this rock right there, and then fired back at the stat patter who was hiding over here, which I think is... I thought it was like the 130M or something like that, but I don't know. It was too long ago, and he was unspotted and all that normal stuff. Okay, so these guys are really having their way. I'm falling because I've been sitting out too much. Really got to be in the game. Really got to be in the game. I wouldn't say there was some lag and latency. There was the one that caused me to die, which is where I hit the house. I believe it was this house. I wanted to go one way, and the lag and latency made me hit the house. And then there were issues where I thought I was really close range, and the EBR has 1.6 aim time. Plus, I've got the V-stab, the GLD, the crapshoot, the cheap shot, all the cruise skills, and I run the directives for cruise skills. Or am I running it for V-stab? I'm running the one for cruise skill, and I have food, and I have missing in action, and all the other crew skills, and there's like 6 crew skills on my EBR, and they're at like 87% or something. So, you know, I have it decked out. It should not miss. It was like I was like over here and the other vehicle was over there and I missed. It's because of lag and latency. I've watched replays and the guns go all over the place. And so the point that I'm making is people say don't use auto aim. If I did not use auto aim, I absolutely guarantee you the gun will never be pointed towards the enemy. It'll just be pointed random places all over. So I need to use the auto aim. That's the short explanation. Okay, we're going to go the fun route. So obviously, I'm... Come on! All I did was reverse, and it practically takes me out of the circle. So I did a wild shot over there. You want to keep moving to avoid artillery. Everybody should be moving, because the artillery might have you spotted. That's why you see me do it. I might not do it as often as if I have high latency, because I will move off the cap. So we're going to say hello to M41D. Okay, that was a slow turn. I could have hit that rock. I might have to modify my gameplay to anticipate and turn a little bit earlier. So my gun went up right when I was about to fire, but luckily I pulled out. So I'm doing the fast turn, and it didn't do it properly. I wanted to go to the crest of the hill, but the vehicle did not complete the turn. Yes, it was lag and latency. I know that because I'm playing the game. I know where my fingers are. So we're going to avoid that. You just don't know how to play. So someone is offering to smoke. So we could easily get it. I think he's doing it because he wants to earn the spot damage. We're going to do something stupid here. We're going to go for the prosciutto. I thought that those other tanks were attacking the prosciutto, but they're on the other side of the mountain. So that was a big F up. So basically, when I was coming through, where's the prosciutto? Those tanks over there, maybe it was the IS-3 and the Victoria. I thought that they were flanking the prosciutto. And I said, okay, we're going to gang up on this guy. And I thought, I'm just going to get one shot in. Maybe I'll kill him. And then it ends up they were on the other side of the mountain. It does happen occasionally. That was an honest mistake. Making up some excuse about tanks on the other side of the mountain. He doesn't understand the mechanics of the game. So I actually understand Frontline. Before Frontline, I played a game in the 80s called Fairy Tale Adventure on probably the Commodore Amiga. And it was a game where you had a character that would run around. And what I noticed is that if you run a certain distance into a place you hadn't been before, the game would slow down. And if you ran back to where you came from, it would be normal speed. And I realized, because I'm a computer programmer, is that it's caching is what it is. So what they were doing is they were caching your location of the map. I said, okay, so you cache your location of the map. And then you cache the neighboring locations. And you only load in the part of the map where the player is. You don't load in all 9 sectors. If you're in D, that's the only part of the map that's loaded. So all the other objects like the houses and stuff like that, you don't load it in. And then you put the mountains so that you can't see. It blocks the line of sight. So they're not rendering all this stuff over here. That improves the game performance. That's the reason why they do it. You block the line of sight and you make the game with sectors in order to improve performance. And I sent a letter to Wargaming, and I posted one in the forum where I said, if you want to make a big map, you have to block the line of sight. You put the game in sectors. You don't just make a bigger map. And they came up with this, which is similar to domination. It's a combination of what my idea was, using sectors with the line of sight breaking everything, and domination, which is where you have repair facilities, and there were caps, and you had to sit on the cap. Steel Hunt, I think it was called, because there were lots of different domination modes. There was Rampage, Domination, Steel Hunt, Capture the Flag. You know, they had like 4 or 5 different versions until they came up with this one. I actually developed a 3D video game a long time ago where I made a map and it was a city. And last thing I remember doing was working on the code to make it so that you could make infinite size cities. And the buildings were generated randomly, and you were in a sector. And as you scrolled the map, you would advance to the next sector, and it would load in those buildings, and then it would save the buildings as a file on the hard drive so that when you came back again, it would repeat those same buildings. And the reason why I randomized it was solely to reduce development time. That wasn't intended for the game to have it randomized. It was intended while I was developing the code. Fuck that. He must have seen me do that. And then I hit his strong armor. Please post why that was a mistake, because I don't know any better. Please tell me how you're such an amazing player that you would never have done that. And I don't know how to play. Oh, look at what the Ferdinand did. Obviously, he can spin around fast enough, but he's watching me. He's watching me. So this is where you would do the handbrake turn, like right there. So he would... Oh, what did you do? That was weird. I made that really sharp turn. So I'm getting closer to him because it's easier for me to get behind him if I'm closer to him. If I'm far from him, it's easier for him to hit me because I have to travel further while his gun is turning. So if you want to get around somebody, it's better to do a tighter circle. I was tightening the circle is what I was doing. But you already knew that. Uh-oh. So I'm doing that hoping that it's going to obviously get under the hill, even though I wasn't doing that. I was doing it thinking he was going to turn his gun too far and then just change direction. And then he has to, obviously turn his gun in the other direction. So if he's in sniper mode, it might be more difficult for him to track onto me if I change direction. Because let me give you an example. If he's in the sniper mode, he's going to fire a shot in front of my tank. But if I change direction, he's not only behind my tank, but he might be a little bit too far behind my tank, and his gun has to swing around to catch up to me, and I might outrun his gun. But there was also a little bit of a hill there, so I was also using the hill for at least a period of time. I don't remember who shot me, but I don't think it was him. I would have swung left around the turn. Is that me? Yeah, I was making the turn to go left to go that way so he wouldn't be able to hit me once I make it past this turn. And it's like I said, this is something we're not really that familiar with this. So I had to figure out while I'm playing, I had to figure out what I'm going to do, and it might not be the best choice. Let's see how I'm doing. Last place. So I really dropped. I was worried when I spawned in that there weren't enough enemy tanks to shoot at but I spawned in anyway because there were a lot of allies on that flank. My last game, I got 9 kills. So you notice in this particular game, there was not a lot of lag and latency. The games I was playing the first hour were really bad, and it was so bad that the game crashed and I missed half the game, and it took me half an hour to get back online. I think my networking driver died. I have to remember to run the networking troubleshooter. Okay, so this is cool. So we're going to go out here. It's a little bit difficult to play when the enemy's defending well on this particular side because they're going to be behind stuff and I have to shoot stuff. Okay, that's the game. So it wasn't that great of a game, even though the latency and lag was rather decent. I really don't want to go through. It's just too much happened to remember everything because I've been playing so many games today. It's easier when you go from map to map and you say, well, I was just on Redshire and I did this and that and that and that. One of the things I like to do when I start a game, I have a plan. And I say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go through this way, get behind the enemy over here, shoot him in the butt. So you can see I'm one of the top ranked respawners. For damage, unfortunately, I did fairly low. For kills, I was low. And this is around halfway. Okay, so it's on the lower side of halfway. So I didn't do that well, even though this is typical performance for me in terms of latency. Most of my games, if I get amazing games, that's typical for how I'm doing it. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please post below and please say what a bad player I am.